Previously on Sailing Aquarius,
He's hissing.
we meet up with an orangutan, listen to some live music, and get snaked. Join us. The weather forecast was calling for a nice sunny day for a 45-mile crossing from Lombok to Bali. Just not much wind. The only thing Z and I were worried about was the current in the Lombok Strait that could reach 8 knots. We spoke to another captain staying at Marina del Rey that came up from southern Lombok north into the Lombok Strait, and he said at times they could only manage 1 knot against the current. So at sunrise, for the last time, we woke up at Marina del Rey, untied the dock lines, and started the 45-mile crossing to Bali.
Good morning. We are leaving beautiful Marina del Rey. Our friends on Nantuka, Nalukai, that we had really nice time yesterday. So can you imagine? The day we arrived to Marina and stayed there for probably 4 nights, day and night the wind was blowing non-stop, 20 knots plus. And now look at this. So they have either nets or some sort of farms here. That's enough. It ends about there.
Thanks for breakfast.
That salmon was good, huh?
I'm thinking that we're going to keep the same heading, and then we're just going to end up heading right down here because the current's going to sweep us down. We haven't changed the setting, and we're a couple more degrees down. We're a sailboat again. Got a little bit of wind, doing 9 knots, and that's because we got some current. At least 2 knots, probably 3 or 4, but we're going sideways to it. And I've already turned down 20 degrees. It looks like I'm gonna have to turn up a little bit. So, turn up a little bit.
Wow. We are entering right now, and there are brakes. "600 horses behind that little boat." So we have a guy meeting us and showing us where to go. Quite a few beautiful boats too, and fair amount of sailboat masts. So it's not as bad as I thought. Not completely commercial. The water is not very clean, but we did not expect it to be clean.
You ready to go?
Yes, I am ready to go.
We got someone coming to pick us up, I think. I hope. We put Aquarius to bed for a few days while we go on to tour Bali and Yogyakarta.
So I think those live aboard dive boats. Pretty cool. Did you find? Cutesy. Got my ticket.
Our first destination was the Denpasar airport, where we boarded an Air Asia flight from Denpasar to Yogyakarta on the island of Java.
Information, currently we just completed our boarding process and expect to be ready for the flight soon. And we just received the clearance from gate. And information.
Air Asia even provided the in-flight entertainment. The next morning, we hired a car to take us from Yogyakarta to Borobudur. According to local documentation, it is the largest Buddhist temple in the world.
I have my own.
You can watch the movie now if you want.
Borobudur sebagai candi terbesar Buddha di dunia di Bali.
After the short video, we went to explore Borobudur for ourselves. As we exit, we see all the pieces to the puzzle that haven't found their place. And I notice that there's so many Buddha heads missing. And looking back, oh my God. Even some of the statues with a Buddha head were once decapitated. In 1982, Philip Beale visited the Borobudur temple. And when he saw the stone reliefs, which show ships used by the local people in the 7th and 8th centuries, he vowed to return one day and build a replica ship. On January 20th, 2003, the construction began using only traditional building techniques with no nails or iron. The reason why Samudra Raksa is of interest to me is because 1, it's about the same size as Aquarius, and 2, it sailed about the same route that Aquarius will take across the Indian Ocean.
Okay. Welcome to Samudra Raksa House.
never-ending tunnel of merchandise, and there's no other way out of this place. And more to go.
Well, that sums up our trip to Borobudur. Right there. Next up, let's get some drone footage. Then we stopped by some other temples worshiping some goddess on the way to Mount Merapi, the most active volcano in all of Indonesia. It took us about an hour and a half to travel from Borobudur to Mount Merapi. Mount Merapi last erupted in 2010, but in 1994, an eruption killed 27 people. On the way back to town, we saw something unexpected. Pigeon races.
Aku sampai tangan lo tuh. Murah-murah gitu. Iya. Pakai kiri. Pakai template. Romeo and Juliet.
Magnet.
Huh?
Like a magnet. He keeps doing that. Do you see all the time, constantly?
She's got a bloody eye.
Aku ngerti lah besoknya nggak tak tahu.
They drive within 5 kilometers away, and then they all race back.
How do they know where?
No, they're pigeons. They home in.
It's already one there. There's the other one.
This is how they rise in the food.
This is beautiful, huh?
The young rice.
Hotel rooms were fairly inexpensive in Yogyakarta, so we treated ourselves to a pretty nice place one night. The next morning, we hired a car to take us to Prambanan Temple.
Tanda suci yang tak lengkap dilindas jalan.
After watching the obligatory movie, we got to tour for ourselves.
Me and Ganesha.
There was a lot of construction going on because much of Prambanan was in total ruin.
Well, every time you go to the temple and you exit, you must walk through this kind of markets. And as you can see, there's a lot. You want a t-shirt? You want a cap? You want slippers? You want a statue?
And any visit to Yogyakarta is not complete without a stroll down Malioboro Street, and we did it at night. So I'm going to leave you with the sights and sounds of Malioboro Street.
Meresmikan festival ini. Ya, biar tetap joget. Oke. Saya ucapkan sekali lagi kepada kedua-dua kita ini.
What is going on? Go look at all the different...
Jajan.
bamboo.
Tutu.
So exciting.
There's a rumor that if you clap your hands 5 times on Borobudur, that you'll be instantly transported to Bali, Indonesia. So you don't know if it's true unless you put it to the test. Well, that didn't work. But we ended up in Bali anyways, which made a girl very, very happy. So join us next week in Bali when we get pampered, take a bicycle ride, and I find out my wife is a swinger. Join us.
If you like this video, give us a like down below and click here to subscribe. That really helps us. And if you want to watch more of us, click one of those.